Grand Rising, everyone. This Monday Motivational Talk is coming to you on the topic of honoring your feelings. Honoring your feelings. I recently went through something, like very recently, as in a couple hours ago. And of course, me being the Gemini moon that I am, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it because talking is therapy for me. And as I continue to talk and post and share these things, what I'm noticing is that my talking is also therapy for someone else. So I apologize the shakiness of this video in advance because I'm literally holding my phone. I was too lazy to go get my stand. I'm holding my phone and focusing it on a mantra blanket on the wall. See? On the wall. But I will try my best to keep it steady. I just really didn't feel like being on camera today, but I really felt like getting my message out. So here we go, honoring your feelings. What happened this weekend? Okay, I am the CEO of a metaphysical center for the past 13 years, and I teach classes. I do self-development, spiritual development, psychic development classes. And for the most part, it's fun. I love what I do because when I stepped on the spiritual path at the early age of 16, it changed my life. I was in a deep, dark place after being sexually molested. And the spiritual path provided me the comfort and inner peace I needed in a very dark time. So I've been on my path. That would make it 16. 30 years? 28 years. I've been actively on the spiritual path for 28 years, but I really didn't start professionally offering things until my 30s. So being the CEO of my center for 13 years has allowed me to professionally work with other people. Because after spending some time on the spiritual path by myself, meditating, doing yoga, other holistic therapies, I felt after about a decade that I was ready to work with other people and to help other people find that inner peace and calm from the struggles of daily life. So for the most part, I enjoy doing what I do. I get to meet interesting people. I get to hold space for people that are going through things. If you're listening to me, you really don't want to look at this video because I can see my hand shaking. And that would be annoying to me. The Capricorn in me is annoyed. So please, whatever you're doing, just put your phone down and just listen to me and do not look at my, every time I twitch and, I'm a very animated speaker. So don't look at this because it's not good. Okay. Recently this weekend, I found out that somebody that I had hired at my center, she was renting from me. Well, I'll go into everything. I recently found out that she is coming out with her very own, according to her, 4-week intuitive program. Now, there's so many things wrong here. And I'm going to talk about each of them because it's giving me the mental clarity. Because really and truly, when I saw the post yesterday that she made, all I had in my head was WTF. WTF. And I'll tell you why. This person came to me less than a year ago. She found me on Google and she came to do some Reiki trades. This person had learned Reiki online, so never been in the actual classroom, got her certification and whatnot online. I'm not going to judge that. That's fine. A lot of people do it. But you would think if you are developing into the role of a spiritual teacher, you should at least at some point get into an actual class, take it in person, to do the energy exercises and whatnot that you have to do with the Reiki class. But that's neither here nor there. I digress. So she found me and she wanted to come to the Reiki Shares Reiki Trades. And when I first met her, I couldn't believe that she was actually a Reiki master, she said, because there was a lot of things she didn't know. But again, I'm not going to make judgments on other people, the way they teach their classes or the way people learn. I'm just going to do the best I can in given situations when clients and students present with whatever interesting situations. So I taught her how to give a full Reiki session. She was really loving doing the Reiki at my center. She would show up regularly. That was nice. Then she got into mentorship with myself and Carlos, my business partner. She took our very basic level classes. So psychic mediumship beginner program, intuitive level 1, intuitive level 2, psychic level 1, psychic level 2, all the beginner mentorship programs. I have said time and time again to people that come to my center, if you are looking to become a professional healer, a professional psychic, a professional medium, please set aside 5 to 10 years for your development. The thing about this path, it's not just going to school and taking the classes. Your psychic mediumship, energy healing abilities develop with you as you develop. The more aware you become, the more grounded you become, the more mentally, emotionally, spiritually stable you become, the more you get out of the development. There's levels to this. There's a lot of levels to this. And I explain to all my students all the time, because I used to be the teacher that certified people to become professional healers and psychics and mediums. But to be honest, I was distraught because a lot of people have ego as a motivating force in their life, and they would allow that ego to take charge. I've seen very, very gifted people flop and fail because they rushed the process and did not allow the unfolding to happen within themselves naturally. And then they would, hang their shingle up too soon and nothing would come of it. I can't tell you how many people no longer practice Reiki or do psychic readings that I have personally trained, and they were really good. Some of them burnt out because they were giving away so many free readings, free healings, whatever, that they burned out. Some of them tapped out because they put themselves in financial binds. I think the worst scenario I ever heard of was one of my students, against my advice, went and opened her own studio and took on a year lease that she could not finish because she had no clients. She had no clients. She did it on her own, and she ended up folding and had to leave the state, got divorced, ended up moving in with her mom. That was the worst scenario I've ever heard of. But more on that whole rushing the timing thing, because that's a talk in of itself. When I met this woman a couple months ago, I felt in my soul that she didn't have the right reasons. I really did. But I'm hard on myself, just like everybody's hard on themselves. And I'm always watching, because I've actually had teachers in my life that prevented me from progressing because of their own selfishness and their own desire for personal gain. I've had a lot of teachers just try to say, oh, you're not ready, when I was in fact ready, but they were enjoying, that paycheck that was coming from me. So as a teacher, I'm hard on myself because I don't want to stop anybody, especially for monetary gain or reasons. Like, that's not my MO. I believe in the abundance of the universe, and there's more than enough to go around for everyone. So when I met her, I initially had the feeling that she was in it for the wrong reasons. I really was. I could see that this was a broken woman, that she needed healing, she needed she needed help, she needed more awareness about her because there was a lot of things she was blindly missing. And I was in a bind. I was in a bind because she was taking the classes, attending the classes. But it's a funny thing. People can take classes and they could be in development for 20 years and still not be ready. Does that make sense? Because it's not about the actual length of the classes. That's why they say it takes 5 to 10 years to develop before you become a professional. Some of us get it quick. Some of us let our guards down and just really go in with the spirit of wanting to heal and wanting to grow and wanting to prosper. But some of us are playing the games, and that's why it takes some people 5 years, some people 6, some people 8, some people 10. It depends on your intent. So she came into my studio last year for a couple of months. She did all the classes. There's nothing I can hold her on. She did all the classes. So when I started advertising my center, because I'm hardly there now, most of my clients are online because they're not from the area. They're from across the US and other countries. And my classes can now be taught online. I have a beautiful center that I'm not ready to part with. And I started opening up to the community saying, hey, if you guys are professional healers and you need to bring your clients somewhere, you don't want to work from your home anymore, you're welcome to come to my center. She wanted a day. And against my better judgment, I said, sure, why not? And I wasn't unhappy about it. And I'm still not unhappy about it because she is a pleasant person. She's very easy to get along with. And I had no problems in actually working with her in terms of like communicating and, you know, the planning and like all of that was fine. All of that was fine. It was just, again, her hidden intent that would cause the disruptions. So this weekend, like I said, I found out that she's starting her own 4-week intuitive program, which, funnily enough, no one so far, knock on wood, in the community has thought to create an intuitive development program. I was the only one. I believe I birthed that into existence because there are psychic development programs and healing programs and mediumship programs, but there was not so far an intuitive development program. I've been running mine since 2012. So I was very happy to have like a little bit of something that's personal to me and unique in the community that nobody else was doing, that I was doing, and I found my niche. So that was the first thing that really enraged me, was for her to advertise it as, I don't know what she's calling it or what she plans to do in it, but the fact that she used the words 4-week intuitive program. I was like, wow. That was the first thing. So when I found out this weekend, I moved very quickly. Now, to some people that are watching this, they might say, you did move quickly. Like you cut her like out of a lot of things. And I'll tell you guys what I did. And I'll tell you why I did it. So when I found out that she was offering this 4-week intuitive program, whatever, I wrote her immediately and I said, I'm refunding you your money because she signed up to be in my Wednesday class, which is mediumship level 1. Now answer me this. How are you running a developmental program when you are still in a developmental program? Make that make sense to me. And now, because I understand her intent, which is she wants to teach psychic mediumship stuff, I need to completely cut her from my mentorship. Why? Because how do I know that she's there really to develop and to learn for herself, or she's just gathering information and data for her own classes? So that's why I tell everybody who mentor with me, are you coming into this for self-development, or are you coming into this with a desire to become a professional light worker? Because if you are, just be honest with me, if you are, this is not the program for you. The program that I offer twice a year, January and then July, because it's a 6-month program, it is meant for people to develop personally, for them to get a better understanding of who they are, for them to gain awareness and clarity and peace about who they are, why they are the way they are, all that stuff. I no longer have no interest in teaching the future light workers of the world. It's just too much ego. I can't deal with it. So once I found out that she's offering her own developmental program, clearly she can't be in mine. So I refunded her her money right away, and I said, here's the thing. I'm going to send this back to you because now that you're claiming to now be a teacher, we're now peers. So I have great discomfort teaching my peers. Like, you're supposed to know what I already know. That was the first thing. And then I said, I need to remove you as an admin in my Facebook group. Again, something that I did out of the goodness of my heart, because when she started renting the studio from me, I wanted to give her more exposure so that people could come to her events. So, of course, if you're going to be offering the same things I'm offering, you can't be an admin in my group, because that's giving you literally the full magazine round to just shoot, right? You now have access to all my clients, my potential clients, my students, my potential students, to market your services. Because I'm clearly not going to be in there watching you do your Facebook Live to listen in to see if you're going to slip it in. Oh, check out my 4-week intuitive program. I'm not going to do that. I don't have time. So the best thing for me to do is to just take you off as my Facebook group admin and to definitely block you from my group. Because again, if you know, the pattern I'm seeing with this person is that they're just pretty much copying what I'm doing, changing the wording, changing an activity here and there, but the concept is mine, right? And I'm like, I can't respect you for that. So I know they say, imitation is the best form of flattery. I get it. She's flattering me. She likes what I do. She's seeing it work. She's seeing me get clients and students all the time. I get it. But there's a way to do things, and this is not the way. Like, first of all, if you're going to run this program and this has been brewing in you for a while, the best thing you do is you sit down with your mentor and you say, hey, one, I think I need to leave your mentorship program because I'm being guided by spirit to offer my own mentorship program. And that's not fair to you. And this is a huge conflict of interest. So I will not be renting from you anymore. I will not, be attending your mentorship programs anymore because it's time for me to create my own. I would have respected her way better for that, because I've actually had people do that to me. They left my center, no bad blood. They just felt they were ready to be a teacher. And of course, they had to leave my center because now it's conflict of interest. I'm still friends with those people to this day because I get it. You being shady and underhanded and just, coming up with these so-called spirit ideas and then running them while still working at my studio is a no-no, especially when I hired her. It is in her agreement, because I have everybody sign an agreement when they rent space from me, that you are not allowed to offer events that clash with mine. Now, I know some of you might be listening and saying, oh, that's not fair, Uma. But listen, Uma is certified in over 40 modalities. There are a lot of modalities I do not offer. Even though I'm trained in them, I do not offer at my studio. I have a very specific niche that I like to work in. I like to do coaching. I like to do psychic and mediumship development. And I like to do mindset reset work. So that's like access bars, access energetic clearings, things like that. I actually gave up energy healing. And energy healing was, just as a side note, was a large part of my income. Teaching the classes, giving, healing sessions to people was a large part of my income. But because I believe so greatly in this new path that I'm on, not really new, but this fine-tuned path that I'm on, I was willing to let go of the energy healing. And that's actually why I hired this person along with 2 other people, was to handle the healing at my center. She was specifically hired to offer healing services. And then if she wanted to create her, her creative play classes, that was fine. I don't do anything with creative play. So dancing, coloring, singing, all that great stuff. Like, yes, come and do it. I welcome it because I don't do it. Right? wrong. Now remember, when you have an intent to deceive, whatever is done in the darkness comes to light. The reason why I moved so quickly to refund her class money and to kick her out of my Facebook group is because this was her third strikeout. The first strikeout came very quickly after we signed papers to work together. Because after we signed papers to work together, I told her, I said, even though you're paying me to rent my studio, I would like to do something nice for you. I'd like to advertise your events to my meetup group, which, by the way, my meetup group is the largest in the area. We have over 3,000 members and it's quite active. So she's not even paying me for that. I wanted to do that out of the goodness of my heart because I remember how hard it was when you're starting out as a healer, as a psychic, as a light worker. It's hard. And especially in a very oversaturated market, you could throw a stone and hit a Reiki healer where I live, which is Northern Virginia. There's so many Reiki healers out here. And with her main focus being Reiki, which is what she came to with me when she started with me, I wanted to give her like an advantage. So I told her, even though you're paying me just to rent my office space on these particular days, I would like to offer my meetup group to advertise your events. She said, that would be great. So the first month or two, I can't remember, don't quote me, went fine. She put up her classes, which we had discussed, which I had agreed on. And I said, yes, these classes you can offer. I'm not doing them. That's fine. But then very soon after that, she submitted a list that had my classes. Like she literally had mediumship development circle. Now, this woman is not a professional medium. She took one mediumship program development class with me and my partner, and then I believe she took one with him. As my partner and I have told mediums, you gotta spend like at least 5 to 10 years in development because that is such a tricky thing to do. There's so many variables in that. Like you have to get all sides of that. But yet she felt qualified enough to hold a mediumship development circle. That was a red flag to me. It's either you're so arrogant that you believe you're just it, that you feel you could just do all these classes, or you believe that those that are more trained than you are not doing a good job. One or the other. I don't know. So when I got her list, I was appalled because there was also a psychic development class. And I said 2 things. You are not qualified by my opinion, which I think you would want to take because you're paying me to be your mentor. You're not qualified to offer these events. And 2, I've already said, stay in your lane. I hired you and the other staff members to provide and to focus on energy healing because I've given that up. You coming to this area is not good. She apologized profusely. She said she would not do it again. And I thought that was the end of it. That was not the end of it. Strike 2 came when she informed me that she had already reached out to Pathways magazine and told them that she was offering these events at my studio. Now, here's how it works. If you work at my studio and you want to offer a class, you have to submit it to me, the class name, the title, the description, so I can make sure it doesn't clash with what I'm offering. Why would I rent my space to people that are competing with me? It makes no sense. And there's so many avenues in the metaphysical world that you can go down. You don't have to focus on the things that I'm focusing on. So that was interesting because she literally wrote me and asked me, what am I supposed to do? And I said, I don't know what you're supposed to do, but you need to contact Pathways and either get them to scrap the ad or change the location and you can have these events somewhere else, just not at my studio. Because again, still trying to work with her, trying to be patient and kind and loving, even though I'm just at the point of like, what? WTF? So that was the second incident, that she went ahead and advertised without my consent. And she was going to do it really like she was trying to force me to change my view by putting in that, well, I already told them and I can't take it back, like trying to push me into a corner. That I did not appreciate at all. I was very disturbed, and that's why I said, I don't know what you're going to do, but you have no right to say you're going to offer things at my center without even checking with me first. That doesn't work. That was the second strikeout. So this, now literally just blatantly taking one of my programs and then calling it your own, changing a few words or whatever, is not cool. So that's why I moved as quickly as I did. But here's the thing. I'm not shocked that this happened. I knew that she wasn't going to last long in my life because there were so many red flags coming up. I mean, there was just so many red flags about her as a person. And, you know, she would come to my classes and there was just, it wasn't there. If you are in development of a spiritual teacher, you should, one, at least be able to meditate. Every time we had meditation, portion of classes, she couldn't even sit still. She'd be moving around, touching her eye, playing with her hair. Like, she can't sit still. If you can't even sit still to connect to spirit, how are you now creating and developing classes that are supposedly spirit-led? This don't make no sense. And then she would do exercises and not do well. I would have understood it differently if she was like the top student in my class, and I would be like, yeah, I get that. You're definitely ready to step out and be your own teacher. But she wasn't even mediocre. She was always at the bottom of the classes. She would get things wrong. People would say, I can't identify the person you brought through. No, that reading does not exist. I remember I did the Zahner cards one day, and she got 0 out of 25. 0 out. When the average was 20% in the world, where you're expected to at least get 20% right, she got 0 right. 0. Because she's not grounded. And a lot of the things that she's doing is coming from her ego. So it came as a shock to me yesterday. I was up with it a lot. I was tormented by it because my life has just been swimmingly well. And at first, my initial instinct was to take this as a bad thing. And this is really what I want to talk about. Sorry that it took me 28 minutes to get here, but I'm literally working it out as in my head as I'm talking to you guys about it. Y'all know when I come on here on YouTube, I'm always ending with a lesson that is meant to help, not harm you. So here's the lesson. Yes, this is disrupting to me because now I have to go, contact people and let them know that she's no longer with me and she does not represent Lotus. So whatever she's doing is her own accord, not, she does not have my blessing on things. Because sometimes students do that. They'll say, oh, I was trained by Uma. They use my name. I was trained by Uma and now I'm offering this program. So it makes people think, oh, they have Uma's blessing. No, this woman does not have my blessing at all. Highly not ready, highly incompetent. No. So it's a big disruption in my life. I have to now take her off of things. I have to get back the keys. She got to clear her stuff out of my studio. I got to contact people, right? But there's a blessing in this because I have been going against my feeling for months now. Remember, I told you when I met her, I did not initially like her because I could feel this kind of fakeness coming from her, this inauthenticity, a lot of things. I'm not going to say she's a bad person because I know some people are thinking, oh God, she's a devil. No, she's not a bad person. You know what it is? By my opinion, again, everybody's allowed to have opinions. So what I'm saying does not determine her worth at all. you know, it's just my opinion. My opinion is she's lonely. My opinion is she's insecure. And my opinion is she's looking for significance. And I've met people like her, middle-aged women, their children are grown, and they have a lot of time on their hands. They're single for a reason, and they have a lot of time on their hands, and they're bored, and they need significance. They need somebody to look at them with that wow, you know? So I'm not mad at her. I'm just really triggered by the way she went about things, because this could have all been like a simple conversation. I'm lonely. I need significance. These classes where people look up to me makes me feel significant. I could have helped her. I could have said, all right, well, let's focus on your strengths. Let's not take your weaknesses and then make it a strength. Like, let's find the path of least resistance, right? So, as much as this is like a tower moment, for those of you that do tarot, this is like a tower moment. I actually feel like this is a star moment, because me and her, our energies don't vibe. I don't do things unless it's authentic. I don't do things by copying other people. I have always done things that are led to me, that are given to me. That's why a lot of my things are unique, because I'm not copying anybody out here. I'm doing my own thing. Like I said, nobody has ever used the words 4-week intuitive program, intuitive development program, mentorship program. Like, that's been my thing. I'm known in the area for it. So I can't get along with people who just copycat others or claim, like it's spirit led when there's no feeling of spirit on it, right? Like, I can't do it. So even though this is a tower moment, I feel really blessed, because I'm like, this is just another thing that the universe knows I've been tolerating. And let me tell you something, when you tolerate something, it takes a lot of your energy. And I think this is why she's being removed from my life very quickly, very swiftly, because she took a lot of energy from me. I mean, when she would send me her classes, it would take me like an hour to sit down and have to put up all her classes, her events, this, that, and the other. So now it's like, yes, I don't have to do it. And then she rented my studio on a weekend day. So it's, now I get that day back. I can now rent to people that have their own things. Now I'm looking for the healers, the light workers in the community that created their own things, that are like, hey, I want to rent from you once a month, right? That's what I'm looking for. That's inspiring me. I think after this situation, I'm no longer going to rent to students of mine, because it's not working out. That's the one thing I'm realizing. It's not working out. I need to find the light workers that have their own thing going on, and they just need a space, a beautiful space to rent, and it has nothing to do with what I offer. That feels light to me. So the moral of the story is, trust your feelings. It took me 33 minutes to get here, but yet here we are. Trust your feelings. And make peace with the fact that you're not an evil person. Because if I had trusted my feelings when I first met her, I would have not even taught her, and definitely not rented to her, because I would have known that her intentions all along were not for self-development, but were for, debuting as the next great spiritual teacher of the world. But she's not. Nope. No, she's not. So what prevented me from just stopping it dead in the tracks months ago was my own insecurities, because I've seen teachers hold students back purposefully. And I didn't want to be that teacher. I always want to encourage and grow and let people know, like, you can do what you want to do. But there's a timing for it. I really believe with this woman, if she stayed like another 5 years in development, not with me, with other teachers and several teachers, I really feel like she might have understood better the extent of what she just did to me. Because it was selfish. It was absolutely selfish what she did. She is now completely alone. she's going to have to go and find a new community somewhere else, because I'm not bringing her back to my community, because how am I going to know that you're sitting in my class really because you want to participate or you just want to copy what I'm doing, right? So, she's not going to be welcome back to my events and whatnot. She lost the community because it was like a community of us working together, growing together, grinding together. She's lost that, all because she felt that Spirit's leading her down this path. So I wish her well. At the end of it, I do wish her well and hope that she finds what she's looking for, which I really doubt is this spiritual teacher path. I think what she's looking for is self-love. She needs to love herself more and stop burning bridges with people who genuinely care and try to help. This is not the way you go about thanking somebody for investing time and energy into you, right? Like, you want to find a way to honor the people that take time out of their very busy lives to just create space for you to be seen and given a piece of the pie. But I don't know how far it's going to go for her. I've just seen in my lifetime a lot of people, once they stop being associated with me, they just literally fall off the planet. I can't tell you how many times people in my community ask me, whatever happened to so-and-so? I have no idea. Oh, but they used to be so active at your center and offering classes and doing services. And now they don't even, post on Instagram or Facebook anymore. Accounts have posts from like a year ago when they fell out with me. Everything just stops. And I believe it's because Lotus, my center, brings a lot of community together. So when you choose to branch out on your own, you don't just shit on me, you're shitting on Lotus too. And the community is not going to stand for that, So these are my thoughts. Very long thoughts from the Monday motivational message. Trust your feelings and follow through. Trust your feelings and follow through. That's what I got to say about that. Sorry guys, this is so long, but I promise you I'm going to try to get more of these videos up where I share my thoughts on YouTube, because I really like talking. I just don't like being on camera so much because I'm on camera all the time for live streams and Facebook Lives. So this is really neat that I can just focus this video on my yantra blanket, and talk. And hopefully you guys enjoy this, and hopefully something in my story sparks something in you in a positive light. And there's a lesson in this for you as much as it was for me. Have a great and wonderful day. Have a namaste.